Coming up on AgweekTV, the number of female farmers is growing in the region, and so is their impact on the industry. Crop conditions vary greatly across the region, from drought to flooding and some garden spots in between. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. soybean industry has had to take a different approach to international market development. And after an 18-month battle, USMCA finally goes into effect. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted business as usual, including international travel, and that has halted export trade missions for the ag community. Soybean farmers export more than half their products, so market development is the most critical for this sector. That's forced them to get creative to connect with customers. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. soybean industry has had to take a different approach to international market development. For years, trade missions have focused on in-person meetings between buyers and U.S. soybean farmers. But with the pandemic, they're relying on technology.
So it's learning how to do business different. So having to do more virtual meetings, Zoom meetings to meet with people.
This allows their trade group, the U.S. Soybean Export Council, to build relationships. But they're anxious to return to hosting customers on farms and visiting international companies.
But it's not quite like being face-to-face with a customer, and particularly in Asia, where the people like to have a relationship with the people that grow the crop. Those international people come to the U.S. to visit farms, and I've had the opportunity to have them on my farm and to visit with many of them as they come to visit.
Asia is just one of the many areas they're targeting, especially since the China trade war.
And we realize we need to have markets in every country that wants U.S. soybeans.
And that's critical for soybean farmers who export over half their crop. Speaking of trade, after a tough year-plus fight, the US-Mexico-Canada agreement was implemented last week. USMCA maintains zero tariffs on most U.S. ag goods going into Canada and Mexico, which have become two of our largest trading partners for ag commodities, including corn and soybeans. In fact, Mexico is the number 2 market for whole beans, meal, and oil, with Canada the number 4 buyer of meal. The new pact will increase U.S. poultry, dairy, and wheat exports, and it modernized regulations, including those governing biotechnology.
It may fix some of the smaller issues, the phytosanitary type issues that go along with the normal trade or trade restrictions, and so we're hoping those are corrected.
USMCA replaced NAFTA, and during the 25 years since it was signed, soybean sales to Mexico quadrupled and to Canada doubled. The two countries also became top markets for U.S. pork and beef. Legislation has been introduced to provide federal incentives to improve beef processing capacity. The Ramp Up Act authorizes federal grants up to $100,000 for existing meat processors to become federally inspected. Currently, state-inspected and custom-exempt processors can't sell meat in interstate commerce, and the process to become federally inspected by FSIS is too expensive. The House bill would ease the burden on processors and benefit cattle producers by opening new markets for beef. Livestock producers in the region that use some form of distiller's grains in the ration now have a new option. First McNess has teamed up with Dakota Protein in Yankton, South Dakota to use cutting-edge technology to pellet and cube 100% DDGs. This provides a consistent product for livestock, which results in about 50% less waste than loose feeding, making it more cost-effective.
Well, we've taken some extrusion technology from the space and the rubber industry, and we've applied the feed into it, and it makes a product that has no fines, and it's 100% nutrition. Distiller requires no binder, no additive. The animal gets more nutrition for less total input.
Ward says producers can feed about half as much with this cube versus a traditional product at about 1 to 3 pounds. Crop condition ratings have remained historically high and above last year, with some areas of the region too wet and others showing expanding drought. U.S. corn was 71% good to excellent on July 5th, down 2% for the week, still the 4th highest in 10 years. Regionally, ratings are extremely variable. U.S. soybeans were 71% good to excellent, steady for the week, but the 3rd highest in 10 years. Iowa and Minnesota remained the garden spots in the region. Nationally, spring wheat ratings increased 1%, with the region mixed. And winter wheat conditions improved in South Dakota but dropped to 50% in Nebraska due to dryness. Widespread rains in early July have been a blessing and a curse to upper Midwest farmers. Jared Haggart farms near Emerado, North Dakota. 11 inches of rain fell on his farm in 2 storms over 24 hours in early July. That's the total amount of rain he was hoping for over the rest of the season. He says the deluge left some fields in his area of Grand Forks County looking like lakes and has caused massive damage in some places. Some fields have 100% drownout, while others have just 5%. Haggart says he's never seen anything like it.
In a 1.5 mile stretch, we probably have about 300 acres underwater still, and it's a week later. So it's just been pretty gut-wrenching to see.
Roads and other infrastructure have also been damaged by the heavy rains. But on a brighter note, Haggart says his corn is loving this weather. High water forced Sarah Dupree to move her 5 horses to their yard to eat. Their Turtle River is flooding their 20-acre pasture, and water is flowing over the roads leading to their farmstead. So the grass in the Dupree's front and side yards are providing some roughage for their animals until their owners can get hay.
And I usually like living on the river. I like the trees. I like the people are wonderful. But it would be nice to be able to plan for if and how we can use that land.
Sarah says they'll now have to buy hay for at least 3 months longer than initially planned. Coming up on Agweek TV, we recognize the importance of women in farming.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
When planting season comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. This spring, keep your planters rolling with a user-friendly seed tender from North Star Ag. We have seed tenders for every size operation from Meridian, Unverferth, and J&M. North Star Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used inventory or give us a call.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Welcome back. Women have always been an important part of agriculture, but the latest census of ag offers some definitive numbers about their role. For the first time, the survey includes how many operators are women. Noah Fish gets a female farmer's perspective in this week's Agweek cover story.
I think now more women are being recognized as principal farmers.
Hannah Bernhardt raises grass-fed beef and lamb and pastured pork on a farm in east central Minnesota. She's helped by her husband and 3-year-old son, but Bernhardt is the principal operator of the land.
And I think that women have always been involved, whether it's in the barn or in the tractor. But if not that, they're doing all the cooking and feeding all of the farm workers. So they've always been integral to a farm working.
Still, it's a team effort. Bernhardt's husband, Jason Missick, contributes in various ways on the farm and is a skilled architect who built their house and pole shed.
I do most of the livestock handling and all of the daily chores and work, but I would never say that I could do this by myself. Like, my husband has been key to us having what we have, to building the infrastructure and helping it get up and running and fixing machinery.
Bernhardt says that local FSA offices do a good job of treating females the same way they would men, and the USDA is improving its recognition of underserved producers after it was sued for discrimination years ago.
That's why, through the settlement, that they've implemented some of these programs. But they are doing better.
Bernhardt is proud that they are good stewards of the land and grateful that the pandemic got them to pursue their goal of making their farm into more than just a livestock operation.
We're not just trying to, sustain the land, we're actually trying to improve it.
In Finlayson, Minnesota, this is Noah Fish for Agweek.
And you can read more in the next Agweek magazine or at agweek.com. For the past 10 years, the Zanker family of Gackle has thrown a party on July 3rd. But as Jenny Schlecht reports, this year they celebrated the end of a tough harvest, a harvest that wrapped up for them on the 1st of July.
I'm 54. I don't ever remember combining in July. Not corn.
Warren Zanker is the 4th generation on this family farm and ranch, with his nephew Chris representing the 5th. They raise cattle and grow corn, soybeans, and barley on 8,000 acres. And this is one of the craziest years they've ever seen.
It's been rough, just all the way around. Basically really started last fall in October when we had that storm of 30 inches of snow, kind of behind the 8 ball. From then on, it was a struggle to get our feed in, silage, our hay home. The health of the cattle, those cattle were stressed most of the summer.
By spring, they still had 3,800 acres of corn left to harvest and didn't finish until July 1st. In addition, they've gone from extremely wet to near drought conditions since last fall.
If somebody had told me I would have been combining corn on July 1st, I'd have said, you're crazy. It's been a struggle since really last spring, and it'll be a struggle all the way till we get this fall's crop in.
On top of everything, COVID sent the markets plummeting in February.
It's been tough. The cattle feeding industry right now is not good. These guys are losing between $400 and $500 a head. I really worry about the market of these cattle this fall.
So after the toughest year they've seen, a party is just what they needed to lift spirits.
No, you got to keep going. I mean, nobody's going to go dig a hole and go in the hole. I mean, we got to keep moving on. We're farmers.
In Gackle, North Dakota, this is Jenny Schlecht for Agweek.
Still ahead on AgweekTV.
We're just fighting to keep the farm. Just doing anything we have to do.
How a whole bunch of water with no place to go is wreaking havoc on families in a rural community.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers 2 solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Keep your equipment in the field when you need it most with parts from Titan Machinery. We carry a full line of high-quality Case IH parts designed for optimal performance and durability. We also carry alternative parts options at lower price points with rugged designs for a great mix of affordability and performance to fit a wide variety of makes and models. Contact your local Titan Machinery location today or shop online at www.titanmachinery.com. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH parts leader.
Change is constant in the ag industry. Stay ahead of the change with the latest ag news and insights from experienced ag journalists with an Agweek membership. Get unlimited access to ag markets, tech trends, policy news and products, along with farm life insights, profiles, and more with light access. Upgrade to all access and get unlimited access to all of our FCC news sites, along with your award-winning ag news. Become a member today at agweek.com/subscribe for the ag news you need.
We're getting into a critical time for crops for weather. With a hint of hot and dry weather in the extended forecast, will it hold together? Here's John with our agri-weather outlook.
Weather portion of AgweekTV now. The weather pattern, very interesting setup this week as the hot weather is not going away, but it is shifting southward just a little bit, and the hot weather will also be dry. A good old-fashioned July heat wave pattern for many areas of the central United States. We'll show you where that is and how serious that could end up being for the corn bean crop. Meanwhile, as the heat shifts southward just a little bit, the rainy part of the country looks like it's going to shift into the northern plains, which started out the summer quite dry. We may be seeing that come to a close. Here's the basic weather pattern. We're still dealing with a jet stream going west to east. There's a little bit of a dip in the eastern part of the country right now, but it's relatively minor in the sense that we're still seeing a lot of warm weather. The hottest weather in the country still in the central plains as we start this weather period. You'll notice a bulge in the jet stream as we go through the week over the Great Lakes and into the northeastern part of the United States. Actually getting up into southeastern Canada as well. Jet stream dives a little bit into the northern plains, so we see that heat getting pushed down into the south central part of the country as we go through the middle of the week. But toward the end of the week, it expands as this high pressure ridge really starts gaining some momentum, and we're going to see some pretty warm temperatures building up in through the central Corn Belt. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, parts of Ohio, parts of Michigan, southern Wisconsin, down through the southern plains, it will be hot. The presence of the jet stream across the north on the northern edge of that heat is where the precipitation is going to be a little bit more likely. Moving on into next week now, we're marching on through August. The heat wave is not getting any smaller. This is going to be a large area of very hot temperatures. A lot of this in the southern United States, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. At times, parts of Arkansas and Missouri, it's likely to be weather in the hundreds. 90s will likely cover a lot of this, but a lot of this will be mid-90s. Some days will be in the upper 90s, so a decidedly warm weather pattern. And the heat is not exiting the north. It's not going to be a cool weather pattern, just not as hot. So, a lot of dry weather in the southwest. That's not going to change too much. The southeast and most of the eastern seaboard and most of the Corn Belt will not go without rain during this period. It's just not going to be very rainy. Most of the rainy area will be in south central Canada and the northern tier, mostly the north central part of the U.S. And this extends actually all the way up into Alaska, where the weather is going cold and wet for the next couple of weeks, probably for much of July. The second week of this period, July 19th through the 25th, still looking at fairly wet weather in the northern plains in southern Canada. There'll be some of that stretching down into the Corn Belt, but after the hot weather we're looking at for the next week or so, I don't know if it'll be enough to keep up with the hot weather temperatures and the evaporation in the Corn Belt.
2020 has started off where 2019 left off, with a lot of uncertainty and concern. Is your farming operation ready to take the volatility this year has to offer? Do you have a marketing plan in place to take advantage of opportunity? Are you finding it hard to separate the noise from the news? Talk to the professionals at Martinson Ag. We can help you make sound risk management decisions that will help your operation survive during these unusual times.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Be ready for the challenging field conditions you face with the Summers VRT Renegade. With on-the-fly adjustment, including blade angle from 0 to 19 degrees, the VRT Renegade gives you unprecedented flexibility for the field results you want, spring or fall. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about the VRT Renegade and North America's broadest line of tillage equipment from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
We're going to talk today about a revolutionary auto steer product that you guys have developed.
We back one of these things in, it'll drain a 40-acre patch just within hours.
What can you tell us about what dairy farmers do to make sure that their animals are happy?
Their care is our primary concern.
Is there still time for producers to get storage bins up?
Absolutely. We still can definitely get something up and ready for corn harvest.
Many landowners are dealing with water problems this year. No place is that more evident than in Lemoore, North Dakota. A flooded Twin Lakes is dramatically affecting 10 families. Some are hoping for a permanent solution, but it could be expensive and would have environmental impacts. Kevin Wallavand has more.
There is no outlet.
A four-wheeler is needed to get in.
I would say if you go back to the mid-80s, 30, 35 years, it was 4 or 5 feet deep.
And now?
And now it's at 42, 43 feet.
Mike Wendell says his family's home place is a victim of a lake with no outlet. This is the farm in the 90s. And now today, unplanned lakefront property, courtesy of Twin Lakes.
It's affected us quite severely because we have several hundred acres of pasture, hayland, and cropland underwater. Prior to building a road up last week, we only had one access road left out of here, and we have 4 that are underwater that we can't use anymore.
Mike, along with neighbor Dean Haberman and other families flooded out, have lost pasture and fields to Twin Lakes. They've tried every avenue, the county, the state.
But currently we're only asking for a couple feet just to keep it from going up anymore and consuming any more land or roads or access.
I've talked to several state agencies. There ain't a one of them willing to help. FEMA, Corps of Engineer, DES, there's just nobody that wants to help out.
The bottom line is there are concerns about the cost of any permanent solution, the impact on the James River by releasing some water, and the impact on area roads.
And we have resistance downstream that is making it even more difficult.
One solution, the farmers say, is to lower the lake significantly. But Lemoore farmer James Bitts...
They want to go through my land.
And you said what?
No.
Says he doesn't want that water running through his property and fields, which are just outside the city of Lemoore. Dean Haberman has used cornstalk bales, even junk cars, to dike against the high water.
We've got a dike 730 feet long, 7 feet high. We've been building it up since 2012. And if that dike breaks, our barns and our house are 2 feet underwater.
Roads have been lost in the township. In fact, this road once separated the 2 lakes, now one, from a 200-acre lake to 1,000 acres of water.
Like Mike said, he's a 3rd generation. My son's a 5th generation. He lives on the farm, and, we're just fighting to keep the farm.
It's water that nobody wants and will likely pit farmers, neighbors, against each other in court.
The farmers and township recently got state permits to slightly drop the water level, but before moving ahead, they're waiting for approval from the EPA. Still ahead on AgweekTV, summer camp takes a new form because of the pandemic.
Agweek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join Jenny Schlecht from the Agweek editorial team and me, Al Windmill, from the sales and marketing team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories, along with guest interviews with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you're involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the Agweek podcast is the show for you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
COVID-19 restrictions mean most summer camps are canceled this year, but 4-H is still trying to give kids the camp experience. NDSU's Lindsay Leaker is in charge of STEM programming for the state of North Dakota and also the Summer 4-H Camp program. Although the camping season was canceled this year, they're offering online opportunities instead, including virtual camps. Leaker says they've come up with several different online programs for all ages of kids.
Right now we have 4-H virtual summer camp, which it tries to model the summer camp experience with counselors and everything. But there's a lot of other virtual opportunities as well, like photography, there was a youth conference, there's showmanship clinics, so all sorts of opportunities for youth online.
The online camps and clinics are being offered free of charge. They're open to all youth, not just 4-H members or North Dakota residents, but registration is required. For more information, go to 4-H Youth Development or NDSU 4-H on Facebook. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Have yourself a great and safe week.